Welcome to DPW 2022 in Amsterdam. We are sitting here in the VIP room and I'm thrilled to gather here a lot of guests and speakers and partners. Now I'm sitting here with Rajesh from Levadata. Welcome.
Thank
And
you.
I'm sitting here with Yves from Vantiva, previously known as Technicolor. Welcome, both of you. We are sitting here in 2022 and a lot has happened since the last conference. The world is changing super fast and that has an influence on supply chain dynamics, and let's talk about that. Rajesh, Levadata powers some of the smartest supply chains in the world with its AI-powered supply management platform. So my question is, what has been your experience with this new volatile market? And maybe you can mention what is your biggest challenge now?
Yeah, it's a very different world right now compared to a few years ago, as we all know. And there's an event happening at any point in time that's going to shake up things, right? Whether it's geopolitical, whether it is related to a war at this point, and so on. And so, essentially, we all agree that change is constant, and you got a market volatility that needs to be managed. And the biggest challenge, if you think about procurement organizations very specifically, is that they have to figure out how to be really nimble, really agile to manage this market volatility. How do you proactively prepare, independent of an event, to be ready and have that flexibility? But then when the event happens, the ability to essentially turn around and react fast, right? Rapid response capability. The biggest challenge is how you move from traditional way of doing things to managing the new normal and building that agility and doing that with technology compared to what you have been doing for the last several decades. And that's ahead of us to change as a function and really bring that transformation as well.
Yes, I can imagine that's a super big challenge indeed.
Yes.
Thank you. Yves, what shifts have you observed in the marketplace then? And how has your focus changed?
So we at Vantiva, previously Technicolor, are producing and manufacturing for our NSP, network service providers, customer premise equipment for entertainment and connectivity, which means that we are huge consumer electronics using. And what does it mean for us? As Rajesh mentioned, the component shortage and the disruption has really shifted the work of our sourcing and supply chain professionals. We have observed, as I said, component shortages, huge lead time extension, insufficient capacity, uncertainty of the demand, and ultimately huge inflation and price increases. All of that in an environment with labor shortages, trade policies restrictions, and a new workplace model. So really, with that, we have to get our buyers and commodity managers changing the way they are working. That means not only negotiating price or having classic supplier relationship, but really create intimacy with our suppliers to know about tier 1 and tier 2 suppliers and to really be part of the full integrated supply chain to address those challenges better with building up resiliency and flexibility.
Wow, thank you for making this really lively. I can really imagine how hard that is. Rajesh, how does Levadata utilize technology to provide companies with the insights and the intelligence they need to make better and smarter decisions?
If you think about traditional procurement, how it used to be done, it used to be about all these individuals who are focused on using their business acumen, their subject matter expertise, their relationship with the suppliers to get the job done. But then in the new world, that shifts significantly. So you're going to go from just using internal data to much more of external data in a continuous manner. And so that flipping of the pyramid of being able to move from getting a lot of external data contextualized to your data so that you're assessing and sensing the risks and opportunities that are coming in and being able to act on this is the first major shift. And that's where Levadata kind of started getting lots of external data and contextualizing it and providing insights And the beauty of it is doing it continuously in a dynamic way, because again, we live in the world of constant, velocity of change, and that's what we do. And lastly, we built an engine that turns all these insights into decisions and action as well. So imagine that you're not only saying, hey, you have an issue or you have an opportunity, but also guiding the users with AI and data that, hey, here's the set of decisions you could make, and then helping them act on those all in the same platform. That's what we bring to the table and drive competitive advantage for customers.
Yves, how is then your company, again, utilizing these insights and intelligence to power your sourcing and processes and data transformation? How do you do that?
Well, with this new normal of volatility, we have to reinvent our supply chains. And what does it mean for us? Executive leadership has given us a critical mission to really look at the whole supply chain again, integrated visibility end to end. So we have applied 4 principles, which are continuity, agility, resilience, and transparency. And to achieve transparency, we could not do it without data and intelligence. So this is why we had to bring it intelligent platforms like Levadata to really look at the whole market and proactively manage the risk. That means what? Commodity managers have to look about better price at the best time, dual source to qualify and to go to engineering and convince them that this is the only part available at this time that could match our design capabilities. And all of that we have, as Rajesh mentioned, to integrate internal data with our demand, with our forecast, with our inventory to external data source, managing risk alerts from supply side, from manufacturing locations, from geopolitical alerts, and to get really this insight to be smarter and faster. And this is what happened to us to bring more competitive advantage to the bottom line, revenue and margin expansion.
Wow, yes. And you already said smarter and faster, but what benefits are you really seeing?
So smarter and faster means if you don't do it now, someone will do it for you. And the time you don't do it, it becomes obsolete. That means really it's get those million of data with different nodes of the supply base, of the customer base, to really predict the future, but also manage the present.
All right. There's a huge untapped opportunity here that companies should take advantage of. So looking ahead, what is next for Levadata? So how do you make decisions?
I think we are in an age of huge opportunity for procurement. It's an inflection point. So you take the disruption that has happened and you look at where we are at right now. You're coming from disruption and going into a recession, right? From, hey, trying to secure supply to too much supply. Or, from cost inflation, you're going to cost reduction. So lots of changes happening over here. There's dynamics that are going on where you can no longer think of things in silos. You cannot just think about, hey, I want to go reduce cost. You cannot think of, just risk by itself or ESG, driving sustainability by itself. You're moving into a world where all these decisions have to be interconnected. So when companies are choosing parts or suppliers, they have to decide, okay, here's my trade-offs between cost, risk, ESG, and I make those decisions such that when I'm designing the product, I am turning up those dials up and down, and then essentially driving for better value to our customers. And so essentially that's where Levadata is headed. Levadata is headed into building decision-making capability, using all that power of external intelligence in an AI framework to help companies make those choices and build better supply chains, more resilient supply chains going forward.
Thank you for this insight, and thank you that you were being interviewed together. Really valuable. So thank you again, and I wish you a lot of good luck in this DPW conference this year.
Thank you very much, and I would like to give a shout out to Matthias and the DPW team that a big part of this opportunity here is around that procurement innovation that's coming in to really enable customers to succeed going forward.
Okay, he will hear it. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.